In the bustling heart of the city, where ambition was the currency and appearance the standard, lived a young woman named Clara. She was sharp, successful, and had a wardrobe that screamed confidence. One sweltering afternoon, while juggling a latte and a conference call, she hurried into a high-end grocery store. As she reached for a carton of organic strawberries, her hand brushed against another, weathered and calloused. Annoyed, she looked up. Standing beside her was an old man. His face was a roadmap of wrinkles, etched by sun and time. But it wasn't his face that caught Clara's attention. It was his shoes. They were ancient work boots, caked with mud and worn down at the heels, looking completely out of place against the store's polished marble floors. A smirk tugged at Clara's lips. She couldn't help but let out a small, condescending chuckle. The man heard it. He simply smiled a gentle, knowing smile and moved on, leaving Clara feeling a brief, strange pang of something she couldn't quite name. Later, in the parking lot, Clara was loading her groceries when she saw him again. The old farmer was struggling to lift a heavy sack of animal feed into the back of a rusty, dented pickup truck. He grunted with effort, his back straining. For a moment, Clara considered offering help, but then dismissed the thought. It wasn't her problem. She was about to get into her sleek modern car when a loud thud made her jump. The sack had slipped, and the old man had stumbled, falling hard onto the asphalt. Clara's heart leaped into her throat. She rushed over, her earlier judgment vanishing in a wave of concern. "Are you all right, sir?" she asked, kneeling beside him. He looked up, his breath ragged, but his eyes were kind. "Just my pride that's bruised, young lady," he said with a weak grin. "This old body isn't what it used to be." Together, they managed to get him back on his feet. He was shaken but seemed uninjured, much to Clara's relief. As she helped him lean against his truck, he gestured toward the fallen sack. "I've got to get this home," he explained. "The animals are waiting." Seeing his determination, Clara couldn't just leave. "Let me help you," she insisted. With combined effort, they hoisted the heavy sack and finally slid it onto the truck bed. As they did, Clara noticed the truck wasn't empty. It was filled with dozens of neatly packed boxes. Curiosity piqued, Clara asked, "That's a lot of whatever's in those boxes. Are you making a big delivery?" The old farmer, whose name she learned was Samuel, chuckled. "You could say that," he replied. "It's my weekly run." He reached into one of the boxes and pulled out a fresh loaf of bread, its aroma filling the air. He then opened another, revealing fresh vegetables, and another with cartons of milk and eggs. It looked like a mobile farmer's market. "This is for the community shelter down on Elm Street," Samuel explained, his voice soft but firm. "And the soup kitchen by the old mill. And a few families I know who are having a tough time." He gestured toward the driver's seat, where a worn-out ledger lay open. "I keep a list. Make sure everyone gets what they need." Clara was stunned into silence. This man, who she had silently mocked for his muddy boots, was a lifeline for so many. Samuel continued, not for praise, but simply stating facts. "My wife and I started this after we lost our son a long time ago. He always had a big heart, always wanted to help people. We figured this was the best way to keep his memory alive. We don't have much, but we have the farm. And the farm provides." He looked at his truck, filled to the brim with food. "This isn't just a truck, you see. It's his legacy." Tears welled in Clara's eyes. The expensive groceries in her car suddenly felt meaningless. Her perfect shoes, her designer bag, they were just things. This man's worn-out boots had walked miles in the service of others. They had more value, more purpose than anything she owned. Shame washed over her, hot and profound. "I am so sorry," she stammered, her voice thick with emotion. "I judged you." "Buy your shoes." Samuel just placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Daughter," he said, his eyes filled with a compassion that melted her defenses. "The dirt on a person's shoes doesn't tell you where they've been. It tells you what they've been doing. And sometimes, the most important work gets your hands and your feet a little dirty." His words were a simple truth, delivered without an ounce of judgment, and they hit Clara with the force of a revelation. In that moment, something inside Clara shifted. The world she had built, based on status and appearances, crumbled away, replaced by a yearning for something more real. The next Saturday, she drove out to Samuel's farm, not in her business suit, but in old jeans and a pair of sturdy boots she'd bought that morning. She spent the day helping him harvest vegetables, pack boxes, and load the old truck. It was hard backbreaking work, and she had never felt happier. That day was the first of many. Clara became Samuel's regular volunteer, his city connection. She learned the names on his list, saw the grateful faces at the shelter, and felt the quiet joy of making a difference. The story of the farmer and the city girl became a small legend in their community, a quiet reminder that the truest measure of a person isn't found in what they have, but in what they give. It's a lesson Clara carries with her, a lesson that all started when she laughed at a farmer's shoes, only to discover the true size of the heart that wore them. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more inspiring content. See you next time.